Okay, so today we are spotlighting a member of the Build More Than Just a Body platform for the on-demand mindset coaching. And I'm very excited about her being on because she's been a member now for a while. She's hopped in on a lot of our group calls, which has been amazing. And she has a really cool background. So Marianne, can you tell us more about you before we get into everything?
Yes, absolutely. So I am a Masters OCB Pro. I got my pro card this year, and I'm also an accountant. I'm a personal trainer. I own MBS Fitness LLC. I'm a coach for 413 Fitness. So I do all kinds of things. I'm also in two bands, and I work as an accountant during the day. So life is pretty busy.
Yeah, I would say so. And didn't you just recently start judging and
Yes, yes, that's kind of a new thing for me. So I am officially an OCB judge. So I'm really excited about that. And it's such a pleasure to support the sport and support all the athletes because I know how hard they work and I know what they go through dealing with the diet and dealing with the rigorous workout plans. And I mean, it's just a lot of commitment. So I have a lot of respect for the sport and I get to meet the most awesome people at the competition. So I always make friends, always making friends. And I love it. I love it.
yeah, you can tell you're passionate about it. That's something that's always stood out to me is you bring passion to everything that you do.
That's right.
So I want to hear from your perspective. Like, what does building more than just a body mean to you?
Okay. Well, to me, building more than a body means also building your mindset to the mindset of a champion, and someone that exhibits all the self-discipline, commitment, control. Your mind is one of the biggest, I think, contributors of your success because if your mind is not right, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to be successful. You're not going to have the discipline to stay on the diet plan and you're going to deviate from things. Mindset, equally a big part, is as your health and working out and your nutrition, and it all comes together. So it's not just about your body. There's so much more to be successful in the sport of bodybuilding.
100%. And I think those people have more longevity because if you're a champion mentally and you can withstand a lot of the demands that are placed on you, you'll be able to sustain your results or continue to commit time and time again.
Agreed. Yeah.
Now, what are some of the habits you incorporate day to day to support you in having like that champion mentality or supporting that philosophy?
Well, my mindset and my habits, I'm a big meal prepper. So I'm very routine. I always have a plan of what I'm going to do for the week. That goes along with my workouts, but most specifically with my food. So I am really big on meal prep and really big on choosing nutrient dense foods and um, also just time management is really a big thing because I have such a busy schedule and I have so much things going on that I think my biggest strength is time management because I'm able to effectively do all of these things and still live a healthy lifestyle. And you hear so often, because I'm also a coach, so I have nutrition clients, and they're like, "Well, I don't have time," and I'm always thinking, "Well, I'm a lot busier than you, but it's all about your priorities. It's how bad do you want it? If you want the results, you have to put in the work and you have to put in the time and you have to be dedicated. And so those are my habits. One other big habit is I listen to podcasts and positivity every morning. And your podcast, Confessions of a Bikini Pro, really, really helped me during prep on those days when, when your energy's low, you're really exhausted, you're really tired. And I would listen to your podcast when I drive to work and when I get ready in the morning, and it would re energize me and get me pumped up and
Oh,
remind me of what I'm working towards because I would want to be like the girls that you interviewed that are Olympians and pros and it was so inspiring. And so your podcast really, really, really motivated me quite a bit.
oh, that's so awesome. I love to hear that because it's such a big deal to be able to re-empower ourselves, reconnect with our why, especially in those difficult times and know like, okay, if they could keep pushing, I can keep pushing. And you established habits and rituals
I
that
agree.
supported you and like aligning with that pro version of you. And then you achieved your goal of going pro.
And I'm always trying to level up. So the way that I determined I would level up is I saw your group I thought, well, okay, I need to take my mindset to a whole different level. Be surrounded with other women that can identify the struggles of being a competitor. Because not everybody understands it, as you know. They're just like, okay, why are you going to the party and you can't eat food? Why do you have to do your workout like at 8 o'clock at night? The women, I identified with them, and it was refreshing to have a group of women that understood the struggles of, your in season, your off season, and there's a lot of ups and downs that you have to navigate through.
Yeah, 100%. And I know you're not alone in feeling that way, because I've had women actually message me after our group calls and they'll be like, "Oh my gosh, Marianne said something that really stuck out to me." And I'm like, yes, seriously.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is. Well, because that's something I admired about you is you joined and you went into it. You joined our group calls, you were really engaged, you were supportive. And so I think that goes a long way. It's like you not just signed up for it, but you immersed yourself into it as well. Now, prior to that, I know there were some challenges and some difficulties. So how has like joining maybe transformed the way you're maybe seeing food or your body or your ability?
So before I ever joined your group, and I never even knew anything of that sort existed. And it really helped with, I would say, like your mental health, because when you get out of competition prep, you kind of go through this weird phase of, it's like, okay, what am I working towards? Like, you want to be back in competition prep and you want to be back on the stage and you want to be working towards something, and you feel kind of in a funk. And it kind of helps when you talk to other people, because they're like, I feel like that too. Or my biggest thing it's helped with is like my mindset about food, my cheat meals. Whew, I could tell you, I have went really, 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 really hard on cheat meals in the past, and really in off seasons. I tell my husband not to buy candy corn because I will eat the whole bag, and he would insist on buying it. And now it can be in my presence and I won't eat it. Like, I didn't even eat any Halloween candy this year, really, like I
That's
do
awesome.
usually. And like my cheat meals are really hard, like eating a whole pizza hard, drinking wine after that. And I'm a lot more controlled now, because you talked about in your food relationship program about those interrupters interrupting your thought patterns
Yes.
when you have those cravings and when you want to eat things, and be more mindful about your thinking when you approach your meals. And so I think that's been probably the most helpful and been the biggest contributor to me having more self-control on those cheat meals. Because yeah, it was getting pretty out of hand. My husband's like, okay, you're like way too excited about your cheat meals. I'm like, I know this is a problem.
Yeah. Well, it's so awesome that you've been able to transform that, because that's so heavily perpetuated in the industry of like that cheat meal, cheat day mentality versus like a consistent, sustained approach the entire time, not having like all these foods we're like obsessing over, fixating on for this one day, and then feeling like so crappy about it. So it's awesome to hear that using like pattern interrupts and mindful eating and the support group has been helpful, because that's what I would hope for, is that you could approach those things and feel at peace with it, rather than like, oh, I have to have it right now and all of it all at once.
Yeah, it's definitely really helped with that. And I even find myself just kind of going back to it, because it's, it reinforces it. So when I'm listening to like my positivity and my self-development stuff in the morning, that's part of it. That's part of the stuff that I listen to. My mindset on food. How am I going to be better about my mindset on food? How am I going to improve? Because no matter how good you think you are, there's always room for improvement. And you got to have that growth mindset. Connect with other like-minded people that are going to help you be better. And so that's what your group is about. It helps us be better competitors and better with our mindset about food, and to motivate and inspire other women, it's a big deal. And you're making an impact on the bodybuilding community, and it's a good one. And it's very unique what you do, and we all appreciate you.
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Like, seriously, that means a lot to me, because it's genuinely like my passion and the mission that I'm on. So to have someone who speaks so highly of it and so supportive, and knowing it makes an impact, plus words of affirmation is my love language. So you're totally like, you're like speaking to my soul. But hearing you talk about the growth mindset does lead me to want to ask you what it is that drives you to want to keep growing and be successful and improve.
I'm just never satisfied. It's like, it's just always been in me. I always want to learn. Like, I'm a big proponent of learning and higher education and work on new certifications, with what I do with fitness and nutrition. And so I guess I love it so much that I just want to try to be the best version of myself, and being the best version of myself, um, drives me to keep on improving, and also setting an example for others. I feel that there's a big responsibility with being an OCB Masters Bikini Pro, being a coach. I have clients that look up to me, and clients that I help. And so that really drives me to be better and to
Yeah.
keep improving. So.
Yes, that value of impact and showing up and being an example, as well as moving forward into your own ideal as well.
Right. There's a term called post-traumatic growth, and there's also the term post-traumatic stress.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing is that I wasn't supposed to be successful in anything based on how I started. I got kicked out of my house when I was 19 years old. So I had got married really young, had a bad first marriage, and just all of these bad things happened that I wasn't supposed to be successful. Like, I wasn't supposed to get a college degree. My family really didn't have much hope in me. And I always had this mentality that you think I'm weak, you think I suck, I will prove you wrong, and I will work harder than everybody else. Wow. And so I think that's kind of where my mindset got developed after that. It's like, well, I can either play a victim or I can grow from this. And that's kind of how I think about life. It's like, I don't want to play a victim. I want to rise above and be a person that achieves great things.
Oh my gosh. And you are achieving so many great things and proving not just to others, but yourself of what you're capable of. And you always knew that. Otherwise, I don't think you would have pursued something deeper within you. Like, I didn't know that part of your story. And that's so incredible that you overcame that, because that could have deterred a lot of people from feeling like life was even worth living or worth committing to growth, because and nobody cares or no one had your back, but you're like, I'm going to have my own back. I'm going to rise above.
It was a lot of work on myself, and a lot of work. I spent a lot of time in the gym my whole life. So the gym was like my saving grace. It's how I dealt with life when life was hard. And most recently, I would say the same thing. My father passed away, and that hit me really hard. So this competition prep, I dedicated it to my dad. And I worked really hard every day. And I said, I'm doing this for my dad. I'm doing this for my dad. I want my pro card for my dad. I really, really want it. And so that really, again, being in the gym helped me deal with, the grief and loss of losing my dad, because he's the first person that I lifted weights with growing up. Yeah. He used to, like, we had an exercise room, and there was a machine where there was a bar, and he would do like chest presses. Well, he'd have me lay on it when I was a kid and do the max weight on the machine, but he wanted more weight. So I would lay on it and he'd push me up, and I would always try to be interested in like what he was working on.
Wow. So. That's so amazing. And you really dedicated that prep to him. And it sounds like it was very motivating and allowed you to step into that next level, which was ultimately achieving the pro card.
Definitely. Definitely feel like my dad's spirit was there.
I was just going to ask you that, if you felt like he was with you. Wow. That's so amazing. And so when you started competing, was he a witness to that? Like, did he ever get to see you on stage?
He never got to see me on stage. Yeah, he knew that I did it, but he never got to see me on stage because we moved out of state.
Got it. Well, that's so awesome that you dedicated it to him. And I think a lot of times people have a misconception about some people in the fitness industry, like, oh, they're always in the gym. Why are they always doing that? Like you mentioned in the beginning. And what they don't always see is what's happening underneath the surface. Is it's like the gym might be this busy person's one time of the day where they can just connect to themselves and their feelings and their emotions and build more than just a body, right? Like they're in there, they're really lifting, not just because they want to build this physique, but it means something to them. It's providing something to them. And it sounds like that's been the case for you for the majority of your life.
Definitely. Yes. It's always helped me clear my head when I've had a bad day or stressful day. I go to the gym. I take it all out in the gym. I tell people I'm going to throw weights around and not punch people in the face if I'm having a bad day.
That's awesome. And you're in a band. So I wanted to ask you actually, what do you do in the band? Are you a singer?
I am a background singer in the band,
Wow.
in two bands. One of them's rock and country, and the other one's more like pop. Like we do Lady Gaga and all kinds of cool, fun songs. So it's a good
Oh
time.
my gosh. You have to post a video in our Facebook group if you're up for it. That'd be
I'll
awesome.
try. Yeah, I'll try.
If
I'm
not,
not
just
the
send one to me.
superstar, but I love being in the background, and I'm okay with
Yeah,
that.
that's awesome. Until you step on stage, then you're like, bam, here I am, everybody.
It's also helped with the nervousness of being on stage in a bikini because
Mm-hmm.
that can be very nerve wracking. Everybody is studying your body and you're doing your poses. And so being on stage with people looking at you just kind of like helps calm the nerves because I'm so used to it.
Totally. Yeah, it's so great that you get to continue that exposure to it and feel like, okay, I've been under the lights many times. I've had many eyes on me. This I can do.
Right.
So let's wrap up with getting your best advice or maybe what you would recommend to someone out there who might be struggling and wondering, like, how can I move forward with that growth mentality or that champion mindset?
I'm a big proponent of journaling. I think journaling does a lot for you mentally and makes you very self aware. I also think joining groups with other women that have the same interests and same goals as you, it really helps you to be better. Like the group that I'm in with you all, that has been a game changer. And having good coaches in your life and good mentors. And I have a really supportive husband, so I have to give him a shout out too because he lets me do all the crazy, ambitious stuff that I'm so driven to do, and he's right along with me. So having good people in your corner and reading positive, motivational, and inspirational books and visualizing you achieving your goals, focusing on the end result. Because when you focus on the end result, you're more motivated to keep working towards that. Because where you're at currently might not be where you want to be, but if you focus on the end result and you do those visualizations and your affirmations, all of those things really work and make a difference.
That was a lot of great advice. I love that.
That's my secret to success.
Very tangible.
Journaling, personal development coaches, good people.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Well, that's so wonderful. And you are such a great person. Like I said, you've added so much to the community for real. So I appreciate you being willing to do this interview with me. And yeah, it's been awesome.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity.
You're so welcome. How can everyone connect with you and continue to follow your journey?
Okay, well, I am on Instagram. It's Marianne, spelled Marianne French 33. I'm also on Facebook. It's Marianne Scott French. And the reason I have my husband's name on there is because I was getting kind of like weird creepers messaging me. So I just put him on there too. So that way I wouldn't get creepers.
Good call. And how can people maybe work with you or learn from you?
MBS Fitness LLC, that's my other page. I have an Instagram and I also have a Facebook. I'm out of Oklahoma City, but I take online clients and in-person clients, and I love what I do. I love it. Love it.
Yes.
People's lives is awesome.
Yes, that is amazing. And your passion is so palpable and visible and amazing. So thank you again. I will make sure all of that's in our notes. I appreciate you, Marianne. And
I appreciate you.
Oh, yeah, it's been amazing. Stay on the line with me. I'm going to wrap this up. You guys listening, thank you so much for hearing Marianne's story. If you were inspired and you want to join the platform with us, you can visit www.celestial.fit/on-demand. That is the membership group that we have been talking about. And of course, that's how you get into the community and join our amazing monthly group calls and have all the support, journal prompts, actually a whole mental health calendar every month. So would love to invite you guys to join that. Either way, hope you were inspired. I know I'm inspired, and I appreciate you all. So have a wonderful rest of your day.